The Wednesday week is sponsored by Bentoria.com. That's BENTORIA.com.
Chance here, a great save by Turner from McClare. Might come a terrific goal by Sheridan.
Brexman against Jones. Get in.
You could have two goalkeepers in there that would have trouble saving that.
The Wednesday week! Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and a very warm welcome to the Wednesday week, the Sheffield Wednesday podcast. I'm Lord Hillsborough, and with me on the line, first of all, we have Jamesy. Hello there, James, old boy.
Hello.
And we've got a new starter with us, Fudge. How are you all been?
A new starter, yeah. How long has it been? I think it's been about 4 weeks, hasn't it?
5 years.
Well, I'll tell you what it is. I've learned from my mistakes. It's great to be back from suspension, and I'll hope to build on the attendance figures in the near future.
Have you been doing the European thing, old Bill?
Yes, actually, we're probably going to get onto it. We've got the class of '91 get together on Thursday, and then the day after that, I'm leaving straight after that to then get on a plane to go to Holland to go and watch Den Bosch. That's it's that weekend. I'm very happy with that.
Boss!
Quite the European. Victoria, my darling, how the devil are you?
Hello, my lord. I'm okay. I've got a bit of a migraine coming on, so if I disappear, I'm very sorry, but I'm here.
Can you have a bit of a migraine? Or
Yeah,
migraine
yeah.
or not migraine?
I've taken mig relief, so hopefully it will go.
Listen,
Well,
last
I
time,
am a little bit,
a bit
and I am
wacky.
sober. I've got a cup of tea. So if
Oh.
anyone
Well,
questions
it's
me
big
for
news.
slurring, it's the migraine.
I'll tell you what, actually, somebody at my work had a migraine, one of the lads, and one of the girls that works there offered him a Feminax to take the pain away.
No.
Yummy.
That's what I've had tonight. It's the best thing ever for a migraine.
Are they really
I've
that
said
good?
mig
Wow.
relief. It's not actually mig relief. I always take a Feminax. They're so much better.
Other drugs are available.
And welcome to your Drugs Weekly.
Grilling talk. On
If you'd like some female-friendly headache tablets and also wound tablets, try Feminax.
And Eddie, oh boy, how the devil are you?
I took a Feminax in Ibiza to show Victoria I was cool. And when I finally got sober, I felt 10 years older. But fuck it, it was something to do. Why are we already talking about feminine hygiene and
Sorry.
pain killing?
It's not feminine hygiene. Christ, I've not got like wipes or anything. I've just got a headache.
Okay, I can
Bloody
exclusively
hell.
reveal Victoria is clean and free from infections.
That's a
Very,
story
very
there.
clean.
How do you know? And
Because you have to get
access-
laid to get infections, and I don't
Access
get
to
laid.
medical records.
or do you get like a weekly leaflet like David Cameron? Does he send a leaflet to your house to tell you the current situation of
Hang on.
Victoria's
Look,
part?
I know David Cameron has, he's been a bit of a dodgy fella this week, but I don't think you can accuse him of having Victoria's medical records sent to him on a weekly basis.
God, it's got so real early, hasn't it?
So, shall we crack on with some football talk, ladies and gentlemen?
Was there some football?
Crack on.
I didn't. Was there some on?
Apparently. So, first things first, let's have a little bit of a chat, if we really do have to, about our most recent set out, shall we? I believe we mentioned that this was going to be a nice, easy, simple game where nobody's really fighting for anything, and Bristol will be a bit of a rollover, and it didn't quite work out like that. Didn't start well to start off with, of course, with the team sheet fluff up, did it?
I don't think any of us
Oh,
actually
dear.
said any of this, by the way. I think that what we said is that maybe Bristol City's eye might be off the ball a bit because they don't really need to be worrying too much about dropping into the bottom three.
Shall we pop a little clip in for last week and see what was said?
Yes, go for
if
it.
you-
Because I
if you want
remember
to.
saying, if we lose, it doesn't matter. It's not the end of the world. Rah, rah, rah.
I remember
yeah.
saying that things like Bristol be fighting for their lives, and was told that they wouldn't be fighting for their lives. But
Well,
hey ho.
They weren't fighting for their lives. We were just really bad. That's what happened.
Exactly.
That's the long and short of it. They turned up. we decided that rather than play a game of football, what we would do is play some people who potentially have never actually seen a football before. Michael Turner, I'm thinking particularly, who we thought may have been a footballer. We were proved wrong on Saturday. He's definitely not.
How much of it, right, let's take a straw poll. How much of it was confusion due to the selection issue with too many lone players and, of course, Kieran Westwood's injury? How much of it was that? And how much of it was just a really shitty fucking day at the office?
Well, it's all of the above, isn't it? It's kind of a bit of everything.
Yeah, and that's the
Yeah.
I've got nothing more to say. That is the sad truth.
Yeah.
No, nobody played well. There was one point where after about 20 minutes, we're already 2-0 down, and I turned to Laura and said, "You know what? At least Aidan McGeady's trying." And that is probably the biggest criticism.
That's always a shock.
Exactly. That's the biggest criticism of that performance ever. That after 20 minutes, that was the sole bright spot that I had was, you know what? McGeady's giving it a good go. He's trying to get into that Republic of Ireland squad. So, it was shocking. It was a diabolically bad performance. If Charlton away was bad, Saturday was worse by an order of magnitude. So, look, do we just write it off? Was it a bad day at the office, or is it something that we need to be worried about going forward?
To be
We
fair,
were
I
very
think
lucky. We were lucky, weren't we, that everything else went in our favour. So, as far as we're concerned, we're still in the playoffs. Yes, it was rubbish and it sounded awful. I went to Sainsbury's in the middle of it because it sounded so bad. But, in fact, no. I was at Sainsbury's at the checkout, thought, I'll get my Nectar card app up. Oh, Wednesday are losing 2-0. It's 15 minutes in. But it's not the end of the world, is it? We'll get over it. We knew what to expect this season, and we've gone a lot further than what we expected. So let's just get on with it.
is it possible that this loss could be somewhat of a good thing for the team? Just to give them a bit of a kick in the pants, obviously, for what will hopefully be a cracking running on there.
I was going to say exactly the same, actually, Lord H. I think we as it sounds, we needed it. I think we've got a bit carried away, and we had a bit of a reality check. Every team in that top six has had a reality check. Hull City had their arse handed to them by Derby, and Derby themselves went into free fall last month before. And that's what the game is. You can't expect to win every game. I mean, all right, yeah, the manner in which we lost was truly painful, but you've got to also take into consideration that Bristol City aren't mugs. You know what I mean? They're not a crap club. And I remember going to Wembley to watch them, and it was either them or Hull City to get promoted to the Premier League. And they signed players like Nicky Maynard. And they've got a great little setup there on how to run a football club within a community. And in January, they made some serious signings because they were doing, for lack of a better term, pish. So they made some great signings. And they've now got people like Odom Awinji. You know what I mean? We know that, as much as I don't like him, Lee Tomlin's got a bit of a record in this league, even though he just looks like that fat lad from the pub with the trendy haircut. You know what I mean? And then you've got Aidan Flint, who I think I'm a little bit gay for. I think the game against us was his 100th appearance on the bounce, and he's played every single minute. I mean, that is it. That is impressive, and he's just a big shit kicker centre back. I love him, and they've got some decent players, like for instance, like Jonathan Khadija, decent player. You know what I mean? Codger. I'm pretty sure that's what we call old people up in Yorkshire. But yeah,
I would be very, very surprised if he is still there next season.
Yeah.
What's going on here? What have you done with the actual Dan Fudge?
I've not done a yet, have I?
Dan Fudge has been on BBC Sport.
That all made perfect sense. There wasn't a single penis joke anywhere in there.
All right, so let me take it down a notch then for you. I was at work when we were playing, and I've got and I'm an Apple Watch wanker, and I work in a restaurant in Bournemouth. And after 15 minutes, I was talking to the chef over the pass, and my watch pinged up, and it just live score came up, and it told me we were 2-0 down at this point, and I just screamed at this little Asian fella, this little Bangladeshi geezer, and I'm going, shit, fucking pig's tits, right? just as then as I turned around and went, "Oh, good afternoon, folks. Table for two, is it? Come and sit yourselves down." And he went, "Are you all right?" I went, "Yeah, the Wednesday's losing 2-0. He went, "Shut up, they're in my bet." And then we had a good old chat about the which saved me a shitty trip advisor, I'll not lie.
That is the worst thing about this season, though, is that no longer is Wednesday irrelevant to everyone, but now everyone has Wednesday in their bets. And it's literally my Sunday is going to the pub and every person that I know going, "I had Wednesday in my bet, ruin my accumulator. I'd 8 out of 9. Had 9 out of 10. It was just Wednesday that let me down." I go, Wednesday always let you down. You've got to remember that.
Yeah, it's a text messages of abuse I get by 4:45. I can't look at my phone. It's just expletives. You know what I mean? Just people screaming at me. I'm not soz. You know what I mean? They didn't want me. I tried that when I was 16. It's their fault.
I'm telling you, Willie Mullins watched his nephew win the Grand National on Saturday, and I guarantee his accumulator was already knackered. He had his own nephew in the Grand National, and he won that at 33s, and then he had Wednesday to win at Bristol, and that was it. The whole thing shot. Bollocks.
Right, I could offer you a story, right? However bad you think your Saturdays were going, respectively. And obviously, Eddie, I spent quite a bit of mine with you anyway.
Wouldn't yours was shit?
Yeah, I know he was fine until that point when you turned up. So we obviously the match starts and we go 1-0 behind, we go 2-0 behind, then he gives the penalty, it's 3-0. But I think it's going to be all right because my mate John offers to go and get the halftime beers. So I think at least I've got something to look forward to. Halftime whistle goes. I go running down for a quick wee. Find my mate John thinking, brilliant, he's got the beers all right. And then he reveals to me that when he got to the front of the queue, he had a choice between buying cider or buying Foster's. So I'm thinking, oh, God, we've got Foster's. But no, he decided to buy us cider. I had to drink a pint of... I mean, I've not drunk cider for, 15 years? Because it tastes like piss. I had to drink a pint of cider. I thought the first half was bad. Half time was worse than the first and second half. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, it's a bad time, James, when you're excited about a pint of Foster's. I remember you berating me about that when we went to watch it was Charlton.
Shit kicker Foster's. Can't believe you're drinking that.
Yeah, I can't believe you're drinking that. You're rushing to the bar going, "Oh, a lovely pint of Foster's." That'll be me.
Did bump into Tango though? Had a good chinwag.
Do you remember you, old boy?
No idea. No idea who I was at all.
Did you find out what he does for a job and how he funds his life?
Again, you clearly just do not listen to this show at all. You're not on it, do you?
Hey, if I'm not on it, I'm not bothered. Like.
Absolutely not.
The only reason I know what's going off is when I'm listening.
It's Fudge. It's a serious question here. Even when you are on it, do you fast forward through everybody else just to listen to yourself?
I tell you what it is. For somebody who's worked in this sort of media for a few years, I'm constantly looking for feedback, and and did I do that gag right? Did I put that anecdote across? So I'm literally just listening to my bits, just for notes. You know what I mean, for myself.
So there you go, ladies and gents. If you would like to send your feedback to @DanFudge,
I get plenty enough bloody feedback from you lot on Twitter.
Please feel free. So it has to be said, the Bristol game was incredibly disappointing. There were some small glimmers, if you like. I mean, the free kick was incredible. I thought it was a belting free kick. Bannon had an odd game, but there were some flashes from Bannon again. It's a shame that, I mean, in the first sort of 5-10 minutes, we didn't come out terribly badly, did we? McGeady had a cracking chance, which, had he put that away, it might have been a bit of a different story. But it was what it was. It's crap, and luckily everything else sort of went for us. So yeah, thanks ever so much for all that. But I think it's just bad day at the office. Put it behind us and crack on, shall we?
Agreed. I tell you what, after because it was pretty. I mean, I was fairly devoted at full time. It was poor. It felt like are the wheels coming off a bit? And I know they're not, but you just feel like that when you're walking away from the game. And then I checked on my phone and saw that Fulham had scored against Cardiff, and honestly, it felt like we'd won. We were straight to the pub celebrating, and it just changed the entire mood. So I would like to place on record my thanks to Fulham Football Club. I've always said that they're a nice club. I quite like them, and they rescued my weekend there.
Can I just... I was with you at Fulham, James. You know what I mean? We were there together, and I don't remember that being the similar vein of your feedback for that club there.
Didn't you just
I remember
eat a KFC
being
and
relatively
put into bed?
positive. That also did happen.
Yeah.
I'm going to go out and get some beers. I went to a casino for an hour, dropped 40 quid, come back with a chicken, and it was fast asleep. Watched National Lottery.
Oh, marriage.
Wild night out with the Wednesday weekers.
Bah.
And of course, this time round, James, unfortunately, one of your wonderful chums was, I don't know if you've seen this or if this is news to you, but there was taking some photos of you asleep on the train back as well and posting them all over Twitter, which was very nice, which me and Victoria saw too.
Yeah, thanks for that, John. I appreciate that a lot.
There's an idea there because there's an app that was one of the first apps I ever bought for my first ever iPhone years and years ago, and it was called Places I've Pooed. And you literally, when you're crimping off a length of dirty spine, you just check in a little bit on this app, and then you open it and go, look where I've dropped one off. And I'm thinking we could do a similar sort of thing for James. You know what I mean? Places I've passed out pissed. Do you know what I mean? Charlie Brown's is in there.
You could just go through all 23 grounds every season, couldn't you? Just fill it in already.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I'm going to bat for John on this a little bit because he's got absolute pelters in recent weeks for basically just for spilling his pint all over himself on regular occasions. So I'm glad that he's got his own back on you, James, and I'm also glad that I wasn't there for him to get his own back on me as well.
Yeah, Team John.
Team John, we're all Team John, aren't we?
Yes, every time, pal.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, we are.
Oh no. Jeeves, we're going to need some more equipment.
Then you need to speak to Oddballs, a speciality.
What the?
Oddballs, a speciality deal in steel, food, and engineering equipment.
Where's that voice coming from?
We offer great deals on all types of equipment and can include dismantling, delivery, and erection anywhere in the world.
Did he just say erection?
We can also buy your surplus equipment or sell it on commission. With over 30 years' experience, let us achieve the best deal for you.
Where can I find out more, Voice in the Sky?
Go to www.bentoria.com.
You heard him, folks. Jeeves, get a broom. Right then, ladies and gents, so let's crack on with the scant little bit of Wednesday news we have this week. First of all, it appears that we've had somewhat of a presence in the Norwegian media this week. There's been an article on Sheffield Wednesday out there. Again, it just goes to show that we seem to be sort of passed around the world a bit now, and people are starting to take a bit of notice of the Wednesdays like they used to in the olden days, aren't they?
What's your Norwegian like? Are you going to try and translate it for us now?
Something along the lines of berries and nuts and things like that.
Petter Rudy.
Absolutely. All you need.
That's it.
All right. Okay. I found the thing. This is quite nice. This is the story of. You remember we talked about a few weeks ago about the young lad who was told that he'd never be able to walk and led Wednesday out. We talked about it on the podcast a few weeks ago. It's
Joe.
Young Joe. It's the story of young Joe leading the team out against Charlton, which is lovely. The fact that this has been seen around the world, I think that that's lovely for Joe and his family, but lovely for us as a football club as well.
Absolutely.
I've got some Wednesday news, Lord Hillsborough.
Oh, fire away, oh boy! Hold on to your hats, ladies and gents.
It's not Wednesday news at all. It's utter bollocks. So I need a call to action from the Sheffield Wednesday fraternity. As some of you may have noticed on Twitter, I'm still trying to stalk Reggie Blinker to get some FaceTime with him when I go to Holland on Friday. And I would like you all to spam him for me, please. And
Is it FaceTime or face-to-face time?
Face-to-face time. I've got this idea of a gag where we sit down for an interview and we go, so Reggie, nice to meet you, and then I stop it and go, this doesn't seem right, this. And then it cuts back to him wearing a Reggie Blinker wig and a 95 shirt. And I go, no, that's all right, now. And then just continue the interview like that. And if you're listening, Reg, it'd be banging. Honestly, I'll, get involved. And as a result of that, I've also been retweeting the odd Den Bosch tweet. And I emailed the club for some free stuff using this show as a springboard. You know what I mean? Just so it didn't make me sound like a weirdo.
It's never done us any favours in Sheffield, but hey-ho, you never know.
But in Holland, I mentioned that I wanted to follow. I kind of sprouted it like I was following Reggie Blinker's career, and because he was on loan there, then I was going to try and work that in. And they're now stalking me quite vociferously. They're they're now sending me like every time there's like a they won 5-0 last week, and their club tweeted my inbox saying, "Do you mind if you retweet the thing from the Wednesday Week account, the story about Den Bosch winning 5-0?" In my head, they're doing it in that voice as well. Like,
excuse me, Mr. Fudge. Would you mind terribly?
And I'm sat there thinking I am Johnny fucking Bobbins at this point, going, oh, well, and all of a sudden, if you'd have got me 2 years ago, I'd have gone, yeah, mate, whatever, don't worry about it. And now I'm thinking about the integrity of the show, and I'm going, I don't know if that's tied in enough yet. I mean, I'll run it by the guys, see what they say. You know what I mean? So, apologies if you do follow the Twitter account of this show. There might be the odd Den Bosch bits going in, because I'm going to try and blag a free shirt and get some...
Den Bosch!
And just try and video myself on the pitch or something, you know what I mean? I've got somebody from the media department meeting me when we get there on Friday. So, honestly, I've blagged the right load of nonsense. And
at least get some interviews out of it, Fudge.
Yeah, I do. I've got...
Take your muff.
Yeah, I've got all sorts of equipment ready for it, because I'm going to make a little documentary about it, and I wanted to do something epic, and this is what it's going to be. I've spent a lot of money downloading what's the program, Adobe Premiere Cut Pro, just so I can just make some big nonsense thing out of it. And if you could, if some of you could tweet Reggie Blinker for me, that'd be mint.
Right then, ladies and gents. So, I must admit, as a weeking group, we are rather excited this week, because we shall be in attendance for the 91 reunion evening, and the Wednesday Week have their Wednesday Week table. So if you're going to be there, by all means, please come and say hello. And I must admit, I'm really chuffing excited for this, ladies and gents.
We will have our muffs as well, won't we? So there'll be a lot of muffs on show. Is everyone bringing a muff?
Yep.
Oh, we're going to be tooled up with muffs, definitely.
God. Yeah,
I'll make sure I charge my phone.
I'm more excited. I don't know who I'm more excited to meet. You've got like Johnny Sheridan, David Hurst, Lord Hillsborough. You know what I mean?
Yay! It is one of these rather strange things that myself and Mr. Fudge, after so many years of doing this show, have never actually met in real life, which is rather chuffing strange, isn't it, old boy?
I've never met you, Lord. It's only been a season, but I haven't ever met you. And I feel like after speaking to you for every week for the last season, I should know your face.
To be fair,
so
he parks outside your house most nights.
I'm going to be like Lionel Richie and just go up and like rub your face. Just
unbeknownst
so I can get some sort of feeling about what you look like.
We have actually met before.
Oh, yes, and tell people, because I was so nice.
I was once, I had left Jeeves at home, and I was mixing it among the common folk, all incognito and stuff, and ting and dat and fam. And I was waiting in the queue with my one of my my youngest boys to buy myself a beverage, and one of the chaps would go to the toilets, and a lovely lady called Victoria offered to save my place in the queue whilst I went, and she didn't even know that I was the aristocracy.
Oh,
that's nice.
Isn't it cute?
But then I turned around and thought, well, I know you are, you awful cow. So I'm. It was very sweet of you, Victoria. Absolutely. In fact, the only person I've actually sort of met in real life that's with us at the moment is Miss Redwood, and that was only briefly, wasn't it, Eddie?
I was intimidated by your lordliness.
Oh, that'll be it. Yeah, absolutely. But no, if anybody is there, please come and say hello. It'd be nice to put some faces, some names. I might be slightly different to what you'd expect from my Twitter picture. It was taken a while ago, that one.
I tell you what, my favourite bit about that last 5 minutes was when Eddie said, he parks outside your house, and I just imagine Lord Hillsborough to have this car like Mr. Burns does in The Simpsons.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Like this limo just parks outside Hillsborough every single night, and I've never noticed.
and sat in the back going, she has no idea who I am.
I go outside and I'm like, are you Lord Hillsborough? He's like, abso-fucking-lutely.
I know.
Oh, only Eddie and James got that. That's so sad.
But no, back to the actual evening itself. I mean, obviously, this is the team when I was a boy, when I was 10 years old, that I idolised in every way, shape or form. And I must admit, on the anniversary, I do watch the videos, the will to win and all that kind of thing, which is the only thing that gets put in my VHS these days. And I'm so incredibly excited just to relive that little period of life where we're all just so incredibly happy.
Have you seen that they've now confirmed the list of players who will be attending?
Oh
no!
Which is good. So I'll run you through the players that are going to be there on Thursday. So we've got Chris Turner, Roland Nielsen, who obviously is
amazing.
Is coming over for the game. Nigel Pearson, who I think is at a bit of a loose end these days.
Is he bringing his son along? So we need to have this thing on lockdown.
Let's take him back to a Premier Inn.
We've got to meet him yet, chaps. Let's try him nice, shall we?
Okay.
Might be listening.
Right, we've got Peter Shirtliff.
He won't be listening.
Phil King, who I think is now famous for running a pub, isn't he, somewhere down south?
No, Phil King is famous for... I don't think there's any Wednesday fan who hasn't met Phil King at this point, but he's still phenomenal.
I don't think I've ever met Phil King.
Shut up.
Live goal for Thursday.
Kingy is going to kill it on Thursday.
We've also got Laurie Madden.
I love Laurie.
Viv Anderson.
Oh, fantastic.
Danny Wilson, who's taking time out of his managerial schedule.
Agent Wilson.
That's bold, isn't it?
Fuck off, Danny. No one
yeah.
We're gonna make him.
That's Agent Wilson you're talking
tattoo.
about there.
Yeah. We're gonna make him show us the tattoo. You know, Danny. Come on.
John Sheridan, who's also in management at the moment, isn't he? He's old.
Never heard of
it.
it.
Shez.
He has to be there, doesn't he? It's not like John Sheridan can miss.
He better add be. I've spent a lot of money on his final shirt that I need to get signed. So,
that's true.
If he's not there,
expensive Valentine's present
ever. If he's not there, Danny Wilson better be able to forge his signature. That's all I'm saying.
I'm sure he can.
We've also got Gordon Watson, who I'm not entirely sure was actually part of the squad in '91, so I'm not sure why he's going to be there.
He wasn't in the 14-man squad, but he was part of the Wednesday promotion squad that he played that season.
I have got £10. I've got £10 up for grabs. Whoever just walks up and goes, Flash!
Or perhaps what I'm going to do is start walking towards him and then just fling myself on the floor and roll over a few times.
I wonder if that ever happened.
We've got three more names yet. We've got David Hurst, who obviously will be drunk in the corner with us, most likely. And then two more. We've got Richie Barker and we've got Ron Atkinson.
Richie Barker,
the front door.
Oh my God! Like Mansfield Town captain legend. Wow.
Listen, there's going to be people younger than 30 watching this, listening to this now, going,
that's like me.
Do you know what I mean? These are the type of people that go.
Ron Atkinson. He was the guy that did the racist joke on the telly.
I know that. But for me, to be fair, like I am going for a night out with you lot, and like my mum and dad, I've like sort of them to come and stuff. But I don't really remember anything about it.
Boo on your youthfulness,
I know. I'm 28 in June, so this is a bit like, it's one of my first memories, don't get me wrong, like it is, genuinely. I remember sitting and watching it with my granddad on the chair and whatever else, but I don't actually remember any of it.
So there's one player who is conspicuous by his absence there. I thought Mark Bright was going to get an invite, Vic, wasn't he?
Oh, I know.
Oops.
No. I spoke to Mark and he was gutted that he hasn't got an invite. And then after a while, we discovered that actually he wasn't part of that squad.
Yeah.
But after like an hour or so of ranting between us, and we were like, well, why aren't you invited? I don't know. Fucking brr. It's like, well, surely you were part of it. And I was like, oh, actually, no. You're part of 93 that I remember. It's like,
the season after,
that's it.
Apparently, they've not invited Darko Kovacevic
in. There are actually a few people that aren't going to be there, though, aren't there?
My hero, John Harkes. I can't believe it.
I thought
he's got a good
promised
excuse.
John Harkes. I thought
Isn't
that
it?
was one
Isn't
of the
it
promises.
the first game of the season in?
I don't
in
care.
the US?
So
I don't
he's
care,
so,
James.
so,
I could be in Labour and I'd still be there. I won't be in Labour because I'm a nun. But I could be.
Why are we back on your minge again?
Hey.
What?
Sure, every 10 minutes.
Oh well.
Someone
else do.
Anyway,
Are we still recording?
Unfortunately.
Nigel Worthington's not going to be there, and there's no reason for Nigel Worthington not to be there because he got sacked, didn't he, from York a couple of years ago? So he should.
That's
he should
true.
Be there.
He hasn't got a job, has he?
Paul Williams, he can't be doing anything now because no one even knows who he is anymore. So there's no reason why he couldn't be there. So disappointed in those.
What about Carlton Palmer? Where is he?
Oh, Carlton Palmer. God, I've not even noticed that.
Carlton Palmer,
he didn't play
Cavendish
in the
Cancer
final.
Care legend, is in Shanghai.
So I'm
afraid
he wasn't.
To be fair, it's not. If you want to chat with Carlton Palmer about 91, it's you just. I can give you a list of 3 or 4 pubs in Sheffield. He's guaranteed to be in one of them at least.
He's not.
It's not easy to track him down these days.
He's in Shanghai. He is still very much involved with Cavendish.
I thought he was in Dubai.
Shall be back by the summer, apparently.
Tell you what,
Shanghai.
If you're worried about what Carlton Palmer's up to, just pop onto Twitter and go and just have a look at his 10-tweet long rants because they're nonsense.
He's good value for following on Twitter.
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
he's just wrong reasons, but he's good value.
Yeah.
And of course, the host of the evening will be a friend of the show, Mr. Garrido, as well. So it's nice to see David as well.
Do you know what? I actually saw David on Saturday. He came to the pub after the match
bet you did.
For a few drinks. I remember nothing about it. Other than the fact I remember giving him a big hug, and I remember at some point.
Oh no.
My phone rang and it was a taxi company saying your taxi's outside, and I was like, "Oh shit! I've ordered a taxi. We've got to go." And we all got up and we were walking out the pub together, and my mate Tom fell over, flat on his face.
Oh, Tom, we love you.
That sewed me up a bit, and that's all I remember. I mean, I must have talked to David about Thursday night, but I can't remember a great deal of the conversation. So it will all be a surprise.
All we ever do is slag off Tom and John on this. And they listen. They're the most hardcore listeners, and all we ever do is say, "Oh, they were so drunk."
No, it's playful.
They're very, very lovely men. But yeah, they do get drunk and fall over a lot. So.
Now, of course, ladies and gentlemen, on the evening we shall be obviously tweeting, we shall be popping out videos via Periscope, etc., etc., etc. So, if you would like to keep an eye on what the Weekers are doing, and of course, to get a little bit involved in the evening, please, by all means, do follow us at the usual places. And of course, if you're there on the evening, come and say hello, and it would be absolutely adorable to speak with you. James, I believe, hopefully, please God, have some little bits for us, Albie.
Right, all right, I have, and one is actually potentially kind of news-ish, although it's very up in the air. I'm not suggesting that this is true, but there's been a few people talking a bit about this. It's either like a planning application or a renewal of a planning application, which is linked to the old plans if we were to have won the World Cup way back when. So basically, yeah, it's a planning application to kind of redo the West Stand, increase the capacity of Hillsborough from 39 to 45,000. And I find this a little bit odd because the scheme also includes the construction of a doctor's surgery, which, I don't know, that must be for Hutch. Not really sure.
Brilliant! I wouldn't even have to drive there. That's wonderful. Put it through.
Yeah, so it's not a sexual health clinic.
That's you did it. You got there before me.
Right. Joke's over, mate. Joke's over. I fucking wish.
What? That you had a healthy sex? I don't.
Just any sex.
Hey, we're all Vic. Hey, you know what? I would kill to give you a venereal disease.
Oh God!
I'd line up.
The tweets that she's gonna get now.
Moving on.
We've hit a Wednesday week low right there. Right there.
Jesus. Yes, I mean, obviously, we have seen the plans knocking about. I'm sure you guys, as I have, and I'm sure a lot of people out there have seen the videos dotting about of the possible improvements to Hillsborough. We've seen another tier. We've seen, obviously, scoreboards in each corner of the ground. We've seen sort of behind the scenes and all that kind of thing. And I must admit, it looks rather promising, doesn't it?
I do have to question it, though, because, like, literally, I live on the next road, as we know, and I haven't seen anything as a resident, so... Am I meant to be looking at lampposts?
At some point,
no, I have genuinely.
How long
have
you lived there?
2 years.
Well, I think the plans probably went in before that, didn't they?
Yeah, but you should have
I think this is just renewal of.
It's the World Cup plans.
Information on the.
Oh! I did the World Cup plans.
Well, that's how you know all about it. Then.
Well, I tell you what.
For goodness
tell your neighbours about it.
Wow.
Sweet child of mine, you're crapper at leaflets and David Cameron. That's topical guide for you kids.
How good is that? That like literally rewind 6 years, and Vic was like, "Yeah, we'll do these plans here. North Stand's getting bigger, West Stand's getting bigger." Who cares? Who cares about those people that live behind there? Way unlucky. And then literally fast forward to present day. She's like, "What? Blocking out my attic view, you dirty bastard."
I have got a question off the back of this, which I'll open up to anyone really that wants to tweet us and tell us the answer. Because I think if we're going to basically rebuild the West Stand and make it really nice, it's going to be the best stand in the ground, isn't it? So we've got to keep that for home fans. Yeah. So we've got to shift the away fans. So where do we put away fans in Hillsborough?
Can you imagine how hard it's going to be, right? So we're going to put the away fans in Bramall Lane. We're going to put the away fans in like the west end of the North Stand, aren't we? Let's be honest, that's where they're going to go. So what we're going to have to do is move all of the Wednesday hooligans, and I include you in that, James.
No, I like that. I'm not moving anywhere. I'm staying where I am.
With all your bad boys. Because they are.
Are you going to change yourself to the North Stand, James?
Surely it makes more sense to move away fans to like half of the grandstand where you can't really see anything anyway.
No, we'll sit there in that shitty corner with no cover on it.
Need to move you chuffers.
The grandstand doesn't sell out. No one sits in the grandstand. It's awful there.
Can you not see the grandstand from where you're from? Literally, that is the first part of the ground that sells out because it's full of kids there at about 2:15.
Yeah, but my point here is that if you're going to rebuild the West Stand, you make
kids,
that the family stand. You redo the facilities there, so the West Stand becomes the family stand. The grandstand becomes half for the away fans because you can't see anything from there anyway. Half for Wednesday fans and leave the rest of the ground as it is. Surely that's the best plan.
So who are you going to throw V signs up at on a Saturday afternoon?
The South Stand, like usual.
Yeah.
I tell you what. No, listen.
Yeah, Vic sat a few rows away. That'll be fine.
The cop's the cop. You know what I mean? It's the cop. That's what it is. It's crap. It's got crap toilets. It's got crap murals on the wall. It's crap, but it's our cop.
I love it.
It's our cop. And the North Stand and the South Stand. These places mean something to people. And the West Stand has got another name that's become a swear word in some parts of the country. So it does need some work, and I'm surprised it's taken this long for this work to get done. And if they're sat in a new posh fangled stand, fine, let them sit in the new posh fangled stand because I like where I sit. You know what I mean? Sodom.
And the only other thing that I've seen this week is a great start. Here's a great blast from the past for you. So Dele Alli has just turned 20, I believe, which means that he scored 8 Premier League goals before turning 20. And Sky did a thing about the players that have scored the most goals before turning 20, so in their teenage years. And joint top with 14, Raheem Sterling and Chris Bart-Williams.
Really?
Oh, wow.
I used to love Chris Bart-Williams. He's just his nickel face and his sticky out ears. And honestly, when he originally came to Hillsborough, I thought he was going to be an absolute world beater.
How much of Chris Bart-Williams' appeal was about his play, and how much was just because he was called Chris Bart-Williams at the same time that Bart Simpson was absolutely huge with the kids? Yeah, legitimately. He was like, Reggie Blinker was a legitimate merchandising phenomenon. Chris Bart-Williams should have literally easily outsold him because...
No.
What?
No. He couldn't have done.
No. Flat no.
Eddie, you were there, man. You were there in those early 90s where the owl shop charged by the letter to get the name on the back of the shirt.
Yeah, no, you're right. That's why.
That's why. It was a marketing nightmare.
But if he'd have done it like the South American thing, instead of having Bart-Williams there, if he'd have just had Bartman, that would have been
Bartnino.
Bartnino. Yeah. Just Bart. I'll just eat my shorts.
Or just
on the back of his shorts. Oh my God! What a game changer!
That could have kept us where we were. If you'd have had that idea 20 years ago, Edward, that'd have been it.
It's Dave Richards' fault, isn't it? He should have come up with that.
Everything's Dave Richards' fault. Let's be honest here.
Right, that's it. So, of course, we are a little bit short on Wednesday news this week. So, Rich Davies, our wonderful social media chap, popped a little tweet out earlier on. If there's any questions that you guys would like to ask to us, because, again, we're a little bit short of actual news to talk about. There's been nothing going off this week, basically. So, first of all, Fudge, one for you from the North Yorkshire Owls.
Yes.
Would Dan Fudge prefer to wrestle Sam Hodgkinson in a pool filled with gravy or baked beans?
I have some follow-up questions.
I don't have the answers, I'm afraid.
It's a hard question, isn't it? It's a hard question.
It is a difficult question, because what I've got to do, I've got to kind of marry the fact that, do I actually want to win this wrestle match and or get drunk on gravy? Do you know what I mean? So if I wanted to win and to take it seriously and batter Hutch's face into the porcelain, it'd have to be beans, because I don't want to distract myself by being, in gravy.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I don't want to be sat there. There's a wrestling match kicking off, and I'm sat there going, "Has anybody got any bread?" You know what I mean?
We've put some hendos in this gravy.
Well, that's a different kettle of crabs altogether. That one, isn't
it? More questions for Fudge, oddly. Fudge, from Lee Brown, friend of the show. Who's your favourite Little Mix member?
Perry, the blonde one with the legs and the boobs and that.
Oh, I like Perry.
I'll tell you what it is. It was when they were... What were they? They weren't called Little Mix to start with, were they? They were called something else.
They were called Rhythmix.
Rhythmix.
That's right. And another band called Rhythmix.
Of course you knew that.
Hang on a minute.
It was actually a charity that are called Rhythmix that threatened a legal suit if they don't change their name.
There you go. That's what it was. And I thought Perry was the one for me, because she looked like this innocent young girl, and then all of a sudden the pipes on her when she started singing, banging. And then she boffed that kid off One Direction.
And your favourite Take That song, Fudgy, oh boy?
It's got to be their debut single, the one where they're eating jelly off each other.
It's got to be
video.
Babe.
Do what you like.
Do what you like.
Do what you like.
It's got to be
It's the best one.
Babe is the best written Take That song.
Nobody remembers Do What You Like.
Come on. It
Exactly.
could be magic.
Babe.
It could be magic. When
Could
Robbie
it be
first...
magic? They never wrote that, though. That's Barry Manilow.
Doesn't matter. Robbie did it so much better.
Yeah,
Robbie
was good on that.
He was the real star.
Yes, Robbie walked through a room of people with a large hat on, and that was me smitten. Then him and his big silly hats.
Dragging it back to Sheffield Wednesday slightly. Can anybody answer the question from Tom Jensen over there? Sorry, Tom Johnson over there on Twitter. What's happening with Mello? As far as I know, he's just injured for the season, isn't he?
Just Tinder.
He's
over
Tinder. Busy chatting Vic up, isn't he? Is this a thing? Is this happening, Vic?
No. He has appeared on my Tinder, and I did super like him for the hope of getting an interview for the podcast.
Are we back on Vicky's bits again?
No.
Are we still recording?
No. He gets the tram. I don't get the tram very often. But
Maybe you could car share with him.
That is true.
Or he could stay to yours. He could walk, because you can see the cop from your house.
The North Stand. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yes, I can. But yeah, he is on Tinder. So if anyone wants to find Mello, there you go. Just join up to Tinder, search for 26.
I'm on Tinder.
Sheffield.
He's not come up on mine yet.
Oh, weirdly enough.
Yeah.
I tell you what's funny about that is, Lord H, when you said Mello, because Philippe Melo's been such an absolute non-entity for this club, my first thought was, what? The guy that was in Blazing Squad? Is he a Wednesday fan? That was the thought process that went through my head then.
You know, I'd love it when he finally gets his chance at Wednesday and he gets the ball in the middle of the park and he turns back and flip reverses it to
and the cop. Everybody on the cop just start going.
He sees you at the crossroads.
Yeah, there's a Blazing Squad gag for you kids. Stay tuned, it gets better from here.
My God, we are so niche, aren't we? Let's be honest here. Pretty niche.
Yeah.
Literally, there's only the 5 of us that would listen to this. That's how niche we are.
Interesting story, by the way. I met Mello last year after booking them for a gig, and he works in human resources now. So well done.
I've got him on LinkedIn.
Didn't you have to
Fudge?
Didn't you have to delay their appearance because Mello had a late meeting? He had like a conference call, and he couldn't get to the venue in time.
Yeah, that's a true story. True story.
That's showbiz, folks.
Yeah, a sexual discrimination case to sort out for a large corporation.
Isn't he called Mello D?
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, Mello
D.
Well, that's it, because he's a bit older now. He's now F Mello, and he plays Sheffield Wednesday.
Oh, what happened to this? Wednesday, please put some news out for us to talk about. Last couple of questions, which we can possibly not answer. James Allen, are the 91 squad invited to Hillsborough on Saturday? I'm sure if they needed to go, they would, but unfortunately, we do not have that information. I'm sure it's something we can check. Last one from James Howlett mentions, again, question for Mr. Fudge. You're very popular this week, considering you've not been on the show for a...
Well, that's what it is, because you guys are always on. Everyone knows everything about you. Because I'm such an entity and I'm wafting in and wafting out, people need to know.
You're like Jesus.
Yeah, just the second coming. Comes back with his knob gags and toilet humour.
Quite simply, can we take Dan Fudge's take on our running and his love of cyclists? Have you been having a run-in with people?
Have I had a tear up with somebody and not remember?
Well, this is a chap called Chris Madden.
Is that running as in the act of going for a run, or running as in our final few games of the season?
It can't be the act. It can't be.
No, it's run in. That's what it is. When he said about our running, I thought me and him had a tear up outside the Riverside Cafe. Like yesterday game or something. No, the run in for Sheffield Wednesday. It concerns me somewhat that we haven't taken points off the teams around us, and that's the teams that are going to be playing in the playoffs. However, this is a right laugh this season, isn't it fun? And then cyclists. Oh, no, that's a different day.
Yeah, we've had that discussion before, and I've paid for it quite dearly. The Wednesday week is proud to be associated with Cavendish Cancer Care. Cavendish is a Sheffield charity dedicated to improving the quality of life for people living with cancer. No one should face cancer alone, so Cavendish provides emotional support through counselling and complementary therapies. The services they provide are free of charge and are funded through donations. If you can help or would like to find out more information, you can go to www.cavcare.org.uk. That's CAVCARE.org.uk. Right then, legit. So let's have a little ramble about our upcoming fixtures, shall we? First things first, we've got the Ipswich game. Now, Ipswich have been a bit of a thorn in our sides all season, but they do seem to be dropping off the boil a bit. Are we still worried about if Ipswich can sort of sneak into our playoff spot?
No, they're 9 points behind us. With goal difference, 9 points. We don't deserve to get into the playoffs if we let them get back in. So, this is a 3 points for us that we need to get. 1 point will probably do, depending on what Cardiff do. But Ipswich are not an issue here. This is all just about how many points we can pick up.
They've been a bit of a bother this season. They keep scoring these chopping last-minute goals and nicking points and all that kind of thing. And they've just been a bit of a thorn in our side. And after sort of last week's debacle, I just want to be a little bit cautious. I mean, they've not got any sort of world-beating players or anything at all like that. But again, after Ipswich, we've got MK Dons, who, the risk of repeating myself from last week, and these chaps are going to be scrapping, because although it looks as though they're pretty much chuffed, it's not sort of mathematically dead at the moment, are they?
No, but look, I'm going to have to revisit a conversation that we had a week ago here, because the thing now for MK Dons is there is no pressure on them, because they are 9 points adrift, I think, at the bottom of the table. They lost 4-0 at home to Huddersfield on Saturday. I think they're going to be relatively resigned to the fact that they're going down, and that can be quite dangerous because it means they're playing without any particular pressure. And when you're playing without pressure, sometimes you can go out and get a result that you don't expect to get. So we've got to be really aware of that, and we've got to approach the game in the right way. And we've also need to kind of prove ourselves wrong a little bit, because we've known all season that we've struggled to get results against the bottom three, and we've got away with it. And this is when, you know, we're really out of the business end now. We can't afford a slip up. You know, we've got to, you know, as much as Ipswich are 8 points with goal difference, call it 9 points behind us. MK Dons are 9 points adrift at the bottom of the table. All that matters from these two games is we get 6 points. I don't care how we do it. I don't care if we wallop them both 5-0. I don't care if we play absolutely terrible and sneak, you know, a 1-0 win with an own goal. I just do not care. I want 6 points. That's all that matters.
Is it just a case of now where we finish in the playoffs and who we're going to play in the playoffs?
Yeah, that's the biggest thing, isn't it? You know, who do we want? If we're going to finish 6th, do we want Brighton? Do we want Burnley? Do we want Middlesbrough? If we're only 2 points behind both the other two, so can we get up there to 4th and have the away leg first?
I'm going to give you some really boring analysis again now, because the train journey to Bristol is quite long, and so we had a lot of time on the train while we were sober on the way down to discuss and try and figure this out. But we worked out, because there's only one of the 4 playoff games which is a Saturday 3:00 kickoff, and we worked out if we finish 4th, then it means that our away leg will be the Saturday 3:00 kickoff, which makes it the easiest game to get to. Therefore, we want to finish 4th.
Simple as that.
That's it. That's all I've got. That was the analysis. I can't, who it's best for us to play. I mean, we've not beaten any of them, so it don't make any difference, does it?
But no, it's about sort of getting there, positioning themselves, make sure that the players have had a bit of a scare, obviously, after the Bristol game, and hopefully we'll not see Carlos all sad and poor Carlos. Right then, ladies and gents. So that's going to just about bring us to an end of this week's show. Victoria, my darling, if people want to get hold of you on the Twitterage, where can we do that?
You can find me at Victoria1867 on the Twitter.
Fantastical. And, of course, on Tinder too. Fudgy, Albin, what an absolute pleasure it is to have you back on the show. Of course.
It's a rarity, isn't it?
And if you remember, if people do want to send their feedback about your performance this evening, Fudge, where can we do that?
Yeah, send it to @SausageArms on Twitter. No, if you do want to go on me on Twitter, you could probably find me clogging up Reggie Blinker's timeline. It's @DownFudge.
James Albin, where can people get on you over there on the Twitterage?
I'm at James Marriott. I just want to say thank you to everyone who tweeted us with their ideas about what the chairman should buy us all if we get promoted to the Premier League. I'm saving those. We'll run through those in the next few weeks.
Fantastic. Eddie Albin, where can people get hold of you on the interwebs?
Yeah, so if you want to talk about Blazing Squad, then I am at Dan Fudge. If you don't want to talk about Blazing Squad, then I am either at Sausage Arms or for Thursday night, we are all at Table 50 at Magna at the 1991
Table 50!
Table
50, y'all.
Yeah, so that is Table 50 because that's the number of people that we have slept with cumulatively.
Can I mention as well?
By 10.
We obviously will. I assume that we'll all be in the Riverside on Saturday. It is my birthday on Saturday. I'm just mentioning that. I'm just putting that out there. But it will also be. It will be the unveiling of
James's 21st.
Plus a few. The unveiling of the new flags that we've got, or that the guys at the Cop End have got.
Amazing.
At some point, I've volunteered to have one of them. So that knobhead in the North Stand waving his flag, that'll be me if you're at the game.
No, absolutely. It is certainly worth mentioning that obviously a friend of the show, Claggy, who runs the Cop End over there, has had various flags made up through donations from members of the Cop End, etc., etc. So well done over there, chaps. It's a bit of a Chancery flag. Also say thank you to the big man himself, etc., etc. So do keep an eye out for those, and you will see on the forums flag that the Wednesday week are part of that as well. So thank you very, very much for including us in that as well. Of course, if you'd like to get hold of me over there on the Twitter, you can do that at Lord H. That's L0RD_H. You can get on the podcast at TWWcast. If you're not going to be at the 91 evening, by all means, give us a little follow and pass it around. Show your friends, and obviously our Periscope, etc., will be coming out from there as well. And again, if you are there, please come and say hello. Honestly, we'll make sure that Victoria behaves herself. She'll have all her tablets. Lovely and clean. Fudge, I'm sure all his European behaviour will be left at the door. James will probably not be drunk until at least
8 o'clock.
25 minutes in, thereabouts, so that'll be good. And of course, Mr. Edwards, always on his best behaviour. So yeah, please do come and say hello. It'd be an absolute pleasure to put some names to some faces. And do let us know. Give us a tweet, let us know that you're coming. And never know, this time next week, you might be on the airwaves with us. It's been a pleasure as always, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very, very much for joining us. As always, be good, be safe.
And we'll see you real soon.
Are we still recording?
There's a chance here, a great save by Turner from McClare. Might come a terrific goal by Sheridan.
Rexman against Jones. Get in.
You could have two goalkeepers in there that would have trouble with saving that.
Is Magna not that place where you can get on them diggers and have a play on them?
Yeah.
No, that's Digger World, Diggerland.
Magna's where you can make
Literally
steel.
Sorry. Where?
Diggerland.
You've never heard of Diggerland?
Yeah, Diggerland.
There's a place called fucking Diggerland.
Yeah.
Diggerland. It's in Wakefield, isn't it?
Castleford.
Yeah, right.
Castleford is that rough? They have to call it fucking Diggerland to get like a 5-year-old.
Hang on a minute. Is it what I think it is? Is it a load of diggers you can go and play on?
It's a land of diggers.
Well,
That's it.
but
It's a footload of JCBs and some
It's
sand.
as popular with adults as it is with kids.
Yeah,
What
totally.
drugs were they smoking when they come?
There's loads of them around the country.
Yeah.
Fucking Diggerland.
Fucking
Hang on.
Diggerland.
I've just looked up Wednesday. Let's look at locations. Yeah, there's a few of them.
Right. If you're going to read out a load of locations, can you do it in the style of a man on a Wynsor's World of Shoes advert?
Diggerland, Kent. Alternatively, Diggerland, Devon. Diggerland, Durham.
Fucking Durham.
And of course, Diggerland, Yorkshire. and coming soon, Diggerland, Worcestershire. This gets better. Diggerland, Devon has a campsite. You can camp there. You can spend a week at Diggerland.
The dream.
This is. I mean, honestly, this is absolutely brilliant. The campsite is just a few minutes' drive from the M5, and is adjacent. It's adjacent to both Diggerland Adventure Park and, for those avid anglers among you, Digger Lakes, where you can go carp fishing.
It's a Wednesday week holiday in a
fucking Diggerland. Somebody's made some more.
For those avid anglers among you who love carp fishing.